Yeah, so whenever I do a reading of my war poems, there's always one question I get asked more than any other: is that really you? And yes, many years and many pounds ago, that was me somewhere in Iraq. Another question that tends to come up a lot is usually asked me by a concerned person who either has a husband, a son, a daughter, a wife, a friend who is in the military or has been to war, and they're wondering if either writing, reading, or listening to work such as this is helpful or harmful to them and their psyches. And all I can say is that I don't know of any problem that anyone has ever had that has improved by ignoring it. 10 years after my war, I followed the examples of of soldiers who had come before, of my father who had served in Vietnam, and I didn't talk about it. I buried everything within me, and finally I started writing these poems. And when I did, I felt a great cathartic release. And so the first one I'm going to share, as Richard mentioned, is in the current issue of the Missouri Review. This is Unstitching. Every day, it's harder to remember why we came. Every mission, every kick-down door, every oven-like afternoon roasting beneath fly-net canopies. I vaguely recall praying 1,000,000 years ago, dropping from a hard pew onto a cushioned kneeler. I was short enough then to hide behind the stiff back of the row in front. The priest wore gold-limbed vestments, spat fire from the brimstone school of preaching, his lessons woven through with warnings of eternal damnation. At night, I'd curl on my side and sling my arm round the neck of my stuffed giraffe, stare into its eyes and imagine the beaded blackness stretching to infinity. So easy when you're young to believe a soul is fabricated from starlight and clouds, tucked between heart and lungs, stitched within your skin. Harder when you see those sacred vessels spill their contents in the sand, animation transforming to lifeless meat. Best not to dwell on that. Stay focused on the task. Tonight, your job is security, your sector the roofline. You won't have to shove your muzzle into the face of a woman who reminds you of your mother, to rip from her arms 2 young boys, cinch their wrists with flex cuffs, and plant their faces in the dust, as if anything could grow there but hate. The boys are about 10 years old, same age as my pajama recollection, but wiser. They know what happens when bullets tear a torso's seams, plunge in like needles without a threaded eye. How few places bodies offer souls to hide. So this next one is actually from the collection, and it's called Particles. It opens with an epigraph by a Greek philosopher, Democritus, who said, "Nothing exists except atoms and empty space." Particles. All smells are particulate. Think about that as you march past burned trucks. Upon melted seats are forms blackened and shriveled like banana peels left in the sun. Stench wafts through your nose, tickles cilia, lies down to sleep in your olfactory bulb. A decaying piece of someone else, a spot of liver, a morsel of tongue. Only comfort is this: no one ever dies. They simply change form. Atoms that a day before were my enemy, now my friend. They wanted so much to escape. I breathe deeply, think, be with me.